Namaskar, friends. Before we go on further, we will discuss about the purpose of life. Why are we all here? Why is there life at all? According to Darwin's theory of evolution, life has formed just by chance. But no, friends. Life on Earth has a great purpose. This entire solar system, this entire system of constellations, this earth, all the living beings on this earth, and we humans. We are not existing just by chance. There is a definite purpose behind human life. I am also amazed that many learned seers, sages in the present times, when people ask them about the purpose of life, even they don't know. They say it's a play. God is doing it out of his recreation. It is just a plaything for the God Almighty. But no, friends, I'm afraid even they do not understand and know the purpose of life on earth. When it is in detail described in the ancient texts, in the scriptures that we have, and they are not some very special scriptures, they are not some very special texts that only I have read. It is all there in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the Puranas, but I am amazed that people are not aware of the purpose of life on this earth. So, friends, now I am going to first of all define what is the purpose of life that I have ascertained from my studies into the various texts. So, the first purpose of life is to enhance your own intelligence. Why do the old seers of India they say that we should go for Atmathan? Why do they say that we have to take our soul to higher levels? And what is that taking our souls to higher levels? How can we take our souls to higher levels? So, we have known already from the previous lectures that soul is the carrier of mind and intelligence. So, what we have to do is to take that intelligence to a higher level. That will take the soul to a higher level. That will be Atmothan. Friends, we have been studying all these facts about human life in almost 30 lectures up to now. So we have known in the section on creation that all physical matter is created from tamas intelligence. And that is the reason why predominantly mankind is dominated by tamas intelligence. Now the purpose of God Almighty is to convert that tamas intelligence into sattva intelligence. And that is possible only and only and only by having a human life form, human body. That Atmothan, that conversion of tamas intelligence into sattva intelligence is possible only through human body. The soul itself is a fraction of God and it remains pure. On its own, it cannot do anything. But only when the soul enters a human body, see, that is the importance. Why our sages, why all the scriptures, They say that human body is durlabh. It is after a process of millions of years that one gets human body, and we should not be wasting it. So the first purpose of acquiring human body is to raise our intelligence towards sattvic intelligence. So are you able to understand the importance of first of all the human body and the first purpose of life as a human being? Now where does one start towards raising the intelligence? So that is also defined very well in many scriptures. And the very first step towards raising your intelligence is being a human being. So we'll say all of us are human beings, so how we are all working as human beings? No. We are all human beings, but are we acting as a human being? For that also, there are five principles defined, and that is the first step towards enhancing your intelligence. What are those five steps? The first step is speaking truth always. Speaking and following truth always in all circumstances. That is the first step towards enhancing your intelligence. In ancient Indian scriptures, truth or satya has been given the status of God Almighty Himself. Sri Satya Narayan Katha, which most of you must be familiar with. What does it say? The Narayan, the Supreme God, the God Almighty, He is the representation of the truth, absolute truth. So that is the first step towards raising your intelligence. The second step is ahimsa. Ahimsa again has been completely misunderstood in the present day society. Ahimsa is not non-violence. Friends, understand this. Ahimsa is not non-violence. Now understand what ahimsa is then? Ahimsa is neither tormenting nor killing innocent living beings. I will repeat. Ahimsa means neither tormenting nor killing innocent living beings. Each and every word in this sentence is important. If you are not troubling, tormenting, and killing innocent living beings, that is ahimsa. Meaning, in fact, the first meaning is that you should not be killing all the animals and birds for food. That is being done worldwide these days. Friends, understand this. This is a very, very important principle. People in India, the Hindus, they started killing birds and animals for food just by seeing that America or the Western countries, they are so prosperous, they've got so much of money, and they are killing birds and animals for food. So it's okay. We can also do it. This is a gross misconception because everybody relates everything to money. If you have got money, then you can do anything. Then whatever you're doing is been approved by God. If you are having that, that is the general understanding of almost all the people these days in the present time. But killing and tormenting innocent living beings is a sin. Now I'll come to the next two words, innocent living beings. Friends, if somebody is standing in front of you with a sword ready to kill you for no reason whatsoever, there you are not supposed to be standing there with folded hands and asking him not to do it. In such a situation, when the other person is ready to kill you without reason, you have all the right to defend yourself. You have all the right to raise your sword. You have the right to resort to violence. So this is a gross misconception which has been fed into our minds over the last 70 years, that if somebody slaps you on one side, you present to him the other side. So I hope you have got the essence of ahimsa. What ahimsa is, as is stated in ancient Hindu scriptures. Now the third step towards being a human being is brahmacharya. Now this again has been grossly misunderstood. Brahmacharya means not indulging in sexual activity before marriage, and being faithful to your partner after marriage. That is brahmacharya. So what is happening these days? So the West is doing all that and they're still making a lot of money. So let us also do it. Let us go for live-in relationships, this and that. So our society is grossly being misled into believing that having sex before marriage is fine. But no, friends. This is a principle of humanity, of being a human being, that before marriage you should not be indulging into sex, and after marriage being faithful to your life partner. That is brahmacharya. Now the fourth principle is not thieving. Hindu scriptures specifically state that thieving even smallest things such as a mustard seed should not be done. Why? Because whatever thieving is done, whether it is by a common thief or whether it is by the eminent officers sitting in the government offices who are thieving public revenue with impunity, that is also thieving. God is not providing them, it is their own karma. So, whatever a person is thieving, that he will have to return multiple times in many, many, many births. Thieving is a sin. So, even the smallest thing should not be resorted to thieving. And what is the fifth step towards better intelligence, superior intelligence? The fifth step is not grabbing other people's properties. This again is a very important principle of humanity. I'll give you an example. There is one community which believes in grabbing the entire nations merely by just increasing their populations and thereby grabbing the governance and thereby grabbing the nation. All of you must be aware which community I'm talking about. So that is the fifth principle, that we should not resort to grabbing other people's properties. And why is it that? You see, once grabbing other people's properties, even your parents, comes into your mind, then you stop performing your karma. Then you start thinking that, okay, I'll get the money by grabbing this property or that property, my parents' property, my uncle's property, my aunt's property. So the person stops to perform his own karma. And as soon as a person stops performing own karma, he is sure to fall. The downfall is assured. So these are the five important principles of being a human. There are several other principles also, but these are the five most important principles. Among Hindu scholars, some have not considered these important, as these have been specified as niyams, yam and niyam. But in Manusmriti, these five principles, they define the conduct of a person. In one of the previous lectures, Bhagavan Krishna has said that karma should be performed within the principles of proper conduct, sad acharan. So these are the five principles of a proper conduct. So now we go on to the next important purpose of life, and that is moving towards greater generation of knowledge. Friends, till now, most Indologists or Hindu scholars, they have considered Gyan or knowledge to be only that knowledge which is contained in the scriptures. But knowledge is not just that which is contained in the scriptures. That is the first important great knowledge that has to be acquired. But the second important field of knowledge is your own profession. Whatever the profession might be, you may be into teaching, you may be into protecting the country, you may be into trading, business, you may be into serving others. But in each of your profession, each of your skill, you are required to generate knowledge. So that is the second important purpose of human life. That first you enhance your intelligence and then move towards greater generation of knowledge. We shall discuss about the knowledge part of the purpose of life in the next video in detail.